Hiya, some information about how to open up the shoulders, especially if we're suffering from poor posture. Maybe we drive a lot or sit on a computer all day, and as we kind of work like this, common for hairdressers as well is another one. Anyone where you've got your arms in front of you a lot tend to get lazy in the posture and they come through. This stuff should help. It's important, especially if you're trying to push weights over your head. If the shoulders are forwards rather than in the back of their socket, they're going to end up running bone into bone. You're going to really struggle with overhead mobility. It's also important for posture. If the shoulders have come forward, you can see it rounds my upper back and I end up quite kyphotic, and that's got problems in itself. So it is quite important for your training and as well as having a good posture for everyday life. I'm going to start with a small ball because we're going to try and soften up some stuff around here. So we're not just talking about this part of the shoulder, we're going right into the pec as well, and also the bicep. So this whole complex of muscle which can shorten and tighten, and as it shortens and tightens it pulls everything together, which is rounding you forwards. So we can kind of roll the ball around here and front of the shoulder across the chest. Pretty simple. I'm using a tennis ball. It's not quite as hardcore as if I was using a lacrosse ball or rolling on a kettlebell. But let me just get into this position here. I'm going right there, right in the front of the shoulder where it joins the chest, and I'm enjoying life a little bit. Already I can feel that kind of working just down in front of the shoulder and into the bicep as well. I've obviously got some tightness there. I'm going to spend quite a while here, to be honest. I'm looking at 2 minutes for each area, so 2 minutes in the front of the shoulder, 2 minutes in the pec minor, and 2 minutes on the bicep. Go slightly softer on the bicep, it's not as robust. And that should help you loosen some things up before you then go into the next stretch. Now, with in mind that the shoulder's coming forwards and we want to peel it back, when we're stretching it, we're looking to peel it back off the floor. So if you go into this stretch, it looks like this. I'm going to lie down and put this arm out. If I do this and my shoulder hits the floor, it's just protracted forward, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So when I'm stretching it, I want to peel it off the floor. So you should see a gap under my armpit. My arm, it's probably, you can't see from there. At the moment, it's level with my shoulder. I want it to be slightly higher than my shoulder and be quite long. Peel the shoulder off the floor. Keep that gap there as I step over. And that should just start to stretch all those areas we've just softened up. So about 2 minutes again if you can. If you get pins and needles, come out of the stretch, fidget, go back in and try again. Don't stay in that position with pins and needles. It can start to cause a bit of nerve damage on the extreme side of things. We do that both sides. So that means we've softened tissues up, we've stretched tissue. Now we want to take that a little bit further into, like, rather than just pulling the shoulders back, we want to use that in full thoracic extension. So the top of your back's extended, keeping you upright. So where the bigger ball comes in, we're going to put the ball under our shoulder blades. So not right in the middle of my back, it's slightly higher. About here, I want to keep onto my midline, so I need to draw my belly in and brace so that the rib cage doesn't completely lift and open up and separate. And just get my arms out wide and then take them back overhead. And all I'm looking to do is feel a stretch here, and also my upper back, I can feel it extending quite nicely. It's not brutal. Need to be slightly careful because I'm looking at the top of my spine here and extending and lengthening. Again, hang out there. If you get pins and needles, come out. If you can do 2 minutes, that's great. You start to get neck ache, then maybe just let your head drop a little bit, relax, and then once you feel okay, we'll bring that chin back in again. But it'd be good to do. Famous dude called Elliot Hulse has come up with a contraption that does a really good job of that, and he swears by it. He says it starts every day like that, and if you look at the guy, it's working for him. He's really good. Stretching is not the full equation. We need to do some strengthening. Okay, so we've opened it up, but what's to stop it all coming back in is strength on the other side. I say strength, probably looking a little bit at stability as well with this work. So the stability gig is a kettlebell armbar. So it's for my right hand. My right knee is up. And I'm going to hold that kettlebell up in the air. Now if I flip round, show you what's going on. This isn't any good for the moment because my shoulder again is pushing, it's protracting forwards and I need it to be back. So I'm going to get this shoulder or shoulder blade and squeeze it into the floor. So now I can feel it flat against the floor. And I want to keep it there, turn the palm of my hand across the body. And that's to help screw that shoulder down. If it's turned this way, it's going to roll my shoulder the wrong way. Palm of the hand across the body is pretty cool. Outside of my knee, I'm going to use my other hand to just bring it across the body without letting this shoulder lift and come over. So that's going to stay bit right into the floor and then bring this knee across the body. Ding. Hold it about 30 seconds to a minute. My other arm will then go overhead. I'm trying to keep this shoulder pulled back in its socket. Obviously it's going to lift on the floor because I'm going to roll over. So it'll lift off the floor, but that doesn't mean it should start protracting out. It's got to stay pulled back. Other hand over the floor. I'm going to take that leg all the way over until it hits the floor. Keep the palm of my hand turned towards me and then see if I can roll all the way down to my belly and hang out in there for another 30 seconds. Now I'd recommend using pretty light kettlebell, especially if you've never done it before. A light kettlebell is going to be enough. This is stability work rather than strength work, so don't go too bonkers. The strength work will come from this. I just smashed that right into my knee. Healthandsafety.com. I'll do it from kneeling, but really we want to do it from standing, it's just so you can see in the video. I will hinge at my hips, hinge, send my hips back. You already know what I'm talking about posture-wise. These shoulders have got to be pulled back, especially if I'm holding the kettlebell. Don't want the kettlebell to go and pull my shoulder out of its socket. We've just spent time on the floor working that shoulder back. I'm going to keep it in that position. We've hinged at the hips. We're now just going to take that elbow towards the ceiling, keeping that shoulder pulled back and control the descent out. Oof. We'd like the initial movement, the initial squeeze to come between the shoulder blades. So although it's single arm work, that doesn't mean that the other side can relax and get lazy. I want both sides of my shoulder blades. Imagine I'm holding a kettlebell there, they're both going to squeeze back. If it helps you, then move the other hand as well. So you're getting a squeeze in between both of them. Reason we're doing one kettlebell instead of two is unilateral work is good for sorting out imbalances. You might have one strong side, one weak side, and we need to put some balance in it. And other reason is the body's not designed to work completely balanced all the time. The body can rotate, or we've evolved to rotate. So if we can do some work with anti-rotation, as in the weight is offset on one side, it wants to pull us down, we're going to get a lot of core strength and trunk stability fighting just with one weight. So it's a bit more of a holistic approach to opening your shoulders up. So it'll do a lot more good than just this. We're looking at trunk stability as well. Another movement we have, going to lay down on the floor again. It's a lot of work laying face down, isn't it? It's because we're using gravity as our resistance, basically. Gravity wants to pull us down and we're going to lift things up. So here I go, tuck my chin in. I squeeze my butt cheeks. I'm going to look after my lower back. I'm going to ever so slightly lift my chest. I'm not trying to dorsal raise or anything, I just want a slight lift at the chest, chin tucked in. I'm going to start with my hands out in front of me. Open the palms, so palms up, and open this way. Try and keep the arms high, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then bring them back. In front of me again, thumbs up, palms up if I can. Talking about thumbs up and palms up, anatomical man, as you see in all the diagrams, anatomical woman possibly, will be stood like this. With a great posture, as we're designed to be without life interfering, we'll pull our shoulders back and that opens our hands up. And so anatomical man pictures you'll see with diagrams and labels of muscles will be this way. It's only kind of everyday life and tightnesses that has pulled our shoulders forwards and our hands start to close in. So when we land on our front, as much as you can get palms up, it's not going to be easy, I struggle with myself, and go through those movements, trying to lift them high, keep them off the floor, shoulder blades back and down. It'll all help.